has the potential to change our sport forever. The success of this Tour de France will determine the trajectory of our sport, so it's an incredible moment to be here with the team.
What is it about this race in particular, the fact that it's the Tour de France? Why do you think there's so much hype around this particular race?
Because it's been so long since the Women's Tour de France. It's been over 30 years since the Women's Tour de France, and there is so much hype around it. It just shows how much progress has been made in the women's peloton.
Another beat, just another day. Just another beat, just another day. Step forward in the rhythm.
I'm not scared, really. I mean, I expect it to be super hard, really, really hard, but it doesn't scare me. I mean, we are all here to do our best and to have in the end, yeah, it's just exciting, mostly.
Stop. You keep falling, I got you. You keep falling, I got you. You keep falling.
When I was younger and I would tell people I'm a cyclist, they always say, "Oh, but do you do the Tour de France?" And then I say, "No, it's only for the men's." But now I can finally say, yes, I do the Tour de France.
La première fois que vous avez dit à les filles, on va faire le tour, la réaction.
Ouais, ça a été, je pense, quelque chose de fort pour tout le monde. C'est notre première année en UCI et puis c'est le retour du Tour de France féminin. Donc voilà, c'est plein de petites histoires qui fait que pour nous c'est grand, quoi.
There are a lot of different opinions when it comes to what needs to change. And I think the biggest thing is media coverage. With that will come changes such as salary and prize money and other resources that would be more equal toward the men.
In a professional sport, there's always pressure. There's pressure from sponsors, there's pressure from the media. There's really a lot of media interest. But on the other hand, we can't overload the girls with too much pressure. We just have to go out and do our best because that's top level sport.
Noi all'ultimo siamo rimasti senza la velocista pura che era Chiara. Non per questo motivo però non siamo una squadra forte. A me mi hanno sempre insegnato che tu punta alla stella più grande, se non riesci a prenderla magari prendi quella più piccolina, quindi credo che domani correremo per questo.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine and picture myself in a race because I don't really know myself in such a strong field, so it's the unknown and it's hard to kind of predict, but yeah, I'm excited. I've never seen the Tour Eiffel, and I've never been on the Champs-Élysées, and I've watched Emily in Paris, so I have big expectations about Paris.
Voilà. Viva la France, viva l'America.
Di particolarmente diverso sento un po' l'aria che si respira. Ti guardi un po' attorno, magari inizio gara, c'è l'elicottero, così. Cioè ci fai un po' più caso e dici cazzo, sono al Tour de France.
Emozionante anche per tutta la gente che c'era a fare il tifo, ma poi essere lì, che alla fine è una gara che hai sempre guardato in televisione, essere lì e doverla fare è qualcosa di magico.
Congrats to all of you for being here, it's well deserved. Of course, this is a race, but it's also more than a race, I believe. And until today, it was not possible for young girls to do that, because there was no tour. So of course, this is a big step. Sometimes it will go as planned. Sometimes we maybe have some difficulties. It's 8 days, they will never come back. So now we have the chance. Of course, like we wrote in your performance plan, is some stages, are better than others for us on paper, but that does not mean that we don't have opportunities. But let's say 6 riders will go to the finish, we need to be there. So it's about always try to chase those opportunities.
Valtro!
He's looking.
Yeah!
Oh, hi. Today is Cynthia's birthday and it's very important for her that everyone knows that it's her birthday. So if you can say it to the most people possible, that would be great.
A compiere 25 mi sembra già tanti, però dai, sono ancora la stessa di ieri, quindi speriamo che di farci un bel regalo di compleanno o che qualcuno me lo faccia.
Aujourd'hui, l'objectif, ça va être d'aller chercher ce maillot blanc pour Simone. Il y a beaucoup de vent, donc ça va être sport. Donc on a hâte d'y être.
I think that today can be one arrive better for us. It's the Silvia Pesco. Okay? So Silvia, more for Silvia for the stage, and Gaspar for the stage, but also for the questions. But for me, Moila and Guazzini are the more dangerous.
Okay, race situation, 4 riders in the breakaway. Time gap is 30 seconds, 3-0. Does anybody need something from the car? Letitia's here.
Has anybody lost a bottle? That's the only thing.
Veronica, 1 bottle. Emily, 1 bottle.
Cannondale already, so if we need to, we can use the white ones.
Okay, Veronica and Emily, Letitia, she is on the way with the bottles.
when you're in a race, you know, you're not always in control of what the pace is like. You have to be really in tune with your body during racing. You have to know, okay, can I sustain this effort? I'm hurting, so they must be hurting. I can hurt just a little bit longer because they're gonna slow it down.
Simone, elle veut gagner. Toujours gagner. C'est la compétition.
And being able to play that game, hoping for that extra second that you can keep going.
Seconda.
You know, everybody on the team is going to give 100%, and you know, some days 100% just doesn't get you there, and it's something you have to accept. It's tough sometimes, but I think it's really beneficial to be around teammates who are going through the same sort of thing, and so we can rely on each other for managing that stress.
Involved in cycling in the early 1990s, there was hardly any money in the sport. We had ridiculous conditions. Women were doing it out of passion. Since then, the sport has changed a lot, and now we have amazing partners, incredible support.
Cioè, si vede proprio che il tour qua è qualcosa di speciale e veramente c'è una quantità di gente che è emozionante. Sulle salite così sentire tutto quel tifo ti fa venire anche i brividi perché cioè, è veramente bello.
Valkenburg, arrivée de Vance. Valken travel service. Al groupe inquiet. Kilomètre 25, échappé terminé pour Elise Chabet et Femke Gerritsen, peloton groupé. The bench is compact again.
I am behind you, Sì, ok Gaspa, ho visto che hai provato un paio di attacchi, bene così, normale che ti faccia un po' male, però dai.
I would say women's cycling is changing since I've been in it, and I've seen it changing, which is really cool. When I first got into it, I was pretty naive. Like I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know how much women made. You really couldn't get information. Like it was hard to find. Like how do I do this? How do I become a pro?
La rivoluzione del ciclismo femminile è appena iniziato. quindi le fortunate che arriveranno tra 5-10 anni raccoglieranno tutto quello che abbiamo seminato noi, vecchi.
So listen, I'm super proud of you.
Thank you.
Super proud of you.
Yeah, thanks.
Today, super happy. Veronica did a really good ride, coming fourth. So here at the finish line, we're very dusty with the crazy dust and stones that we had to contend with. But yeah, super good day for us.
You guys, this bike, thank you. You set it up perfectly. Thank you.
Really value that.
Thank you.
Okay, go get rest.
I was worried, come Monday, what's going to happen? Because Sunday there were a lot of people. It showed that people are interested. People do want to watch women's cycling. So that's
I think
super.
they really connect to women's cycling.
Yeah.
Like all the personal stories and the different backgrounds.
Yeah.
My first reaction was like, okay, there's the 3-week men's race and then there's a little women's race just afterwards. And I thought, oh, maybe it would have been better to put it like in the same time. But now it's really, it really worked out well, I think, because I really feel like the momentum just moved into the women's race. They just celebrate the race itself, regardless of if it's a women's or a men's race.
And I've got so many cool messages about people. One woman wrote to me that her daughter started she's never been interested in cycling and she watched our tour and now she wants to start cycling and
that's
fantastic.
Yeah, that's my second point is that it's an inspiration for generations to come. They, like your picture of your daughter, it shows young girls that this is something they can do. That's pretty exciting.
And I think it's cool too to see, I wasn't sure how people would feel going from the men's racing to the women's, if they'd be trying to compare or something. But I actually think it's really cool because it just shows they're both really exciting and dynamic, but we're so different.
Yeah.
And that's so good. I think that we are so different in the way they race, so people can appreciate both sides of it.
And also, I've been told that actually the people more watching our races because it's shorter, more intense, more it's a better show. There's more things happening. It's
not so much downtime.
Yeah.
Gaspa!
Vous avez dit après minutes. C'était avant. Ah non, mais pareil, les machins en slash. Les filles, tous les lions.
Durante la caduta ho una piccola contusione quadricipite, a male, fa fatica a camminare e questa botta sul quadricipite non ci voleva, visto anche la mano. Adesso vediamo di fare il possibile per farla partire domani.
Allora, diciamo che la tensione in gruppo secondo me è altissima, perché da una parte ci sta il primo Tour de France, sai, tutte vogliono far bene, Però penso che in alcune situazioni sia molto pericoloso, perché al di là di una, tra virgolette, corsa in bicicletta c'è anche, si mette a rischio la propria vita, no? Io anche sono matta in bici, però guardo sempre 100 metri avanti al gruppo per vedere se ci sono dei pericoli.
Where's Catherine? Podium, quickly, come on. Quickly, you got no time to do anything, you have to go, because we get, just go, get your bike, come on.
Quelques instants, mesdames et messieurs, il s'agit de l'Allemande Catherine Hammes. Pour la formation IF Education Team Co SVB qui franchit la ligne en première position au sommet donc du point bonus aujourd'hui à l'occasion de cette 6e étape du Tour de France.
Good night!
Good morning.
Allora, te lo devi sentire te, ti reputo una ragazza super intelligente, la contusione l'hai presa, io non rischierei niente, poi vedi te.
Oggi mi viene a mancare l'Onora, nonostante la microfrattura alla mano stava pedalando molto bene e forse era l'atleta che poteva aiutare di più Silvia nelle lunghe salite da domani. Non mi piace piangermi addosso, succede, il ciclismo è fatto di queste cose. Come ti ho sempre detto in questi giorni, continueremo a lottare per il nostro sogno.
Simone Boila.
Je pense que ça va être difficile aujourd'hui, mais il faut se battre. Puis c'est la 7e étape. Je pense que tout le monde est dans le même bateau. Donc, si on pourrait avoir un peu d'encouragement du public, je pense que ça va nous aider.
Bastien, viens chercher un t-shirt.
Et les 30 écarts diminuent entre les deux premières coureurs, 22 secondes pour le 123 et 25 secondes pour le peloton.
I never ever thought I would be a professional athlete. It was something that seemed really unattainable. Yeah, it's been a very interesting trajectory to get here.
You know, I don't particularly care too much what I race. I just like to race. But in this case, I was like, no, I really want to do the Tour de France, and I think I can be a big help to the team.
Cycling is not really a very popular sport in the States. I hope with this Women's Tour de France widens the popularity of cycling, not only in the States, but through the world, and especially women's cycling.
Yeah, over the last couple of years, and especially like I would say the last 2 or 3 years, there's been a big, there's been movement towards some big changes, you know, like teams setting minimum salaries and matching the World Tour men's minimum salaries. So now it's actually a livable wage. And then also too, they're now supporting women through pregnancy. You see examples of that. And it's still like in small, there's small examples of it, like it's not extremely common. And there's definitely still women riders who aren't getting paid enough, but we're taking steps in the right direction.
Ça me la gueule tous les jours.
Il reste un jour.
Non chiedetemi più di fare una tappa così, Madonna mia, oh. Piangevo. Tu mi hai visto quando piangevo?
Sylvia is such a great rider because you can always count on her. She like never does mistakes. It's so impressive to watch, so impressive. You know that she's always gonna save the day. And then when we arrive, you know, we're like sad, like, okay, what do you have from your crash? Yeah, okay, I have this, what do you have? And then Sylvia, we see her at the podium and she's like, oh, I finished second. And she's just the cutest, she deserves it the most. So like, we're super happy for her.
Aujourd'hui, c'est la dernière étape, donc déjà on est contente d'être assises au départ de cette 6e étape, et puis ça va être quand même une dure journée encore, mais contente de terminer le Tour de France, et puis voilà.
Okay. Last stage, I think. 1 week ago we started this race. We can be happy with what we have done, but it's not over. You just need to make sure that you give, that we leave everything on the road, and then hopefully in a few hours we are on the top and we did a good job.
E poi anche con la mia famiglia, loro sono più emozionati di me, credo, perché comunque anche per loro, avendolo sempre visto in televisione, ora vedendo me qua, quindi speriamo appunto di trovare, di fare buoni risultati e appunto di farli emozionare e niente, e di cogliere qualche vittoria, magari, non sarebbe male, magari.
a humility lesson. You know, to come here first stage, you're doing well, and then you have some ambitions of doing something, and then you crash and you lose all your, you know, you lose, I'd say 20% of your capacity. It's small, but in the Tour de France, it's enormous, and I'm glad I fought till the end. You know, many girls that crash are DNF today, so it's a victory in itself, but yeah, you know, it's been a humility lesson.
Ah, che gioia, sono stati 10 giorni intensi, in cui ok ero calma, serena, però allo stesso tempo c'è sempre quel nervosismo. Sicuramente non è cambiato nulla, sono sempre io, sempre la solita stupida.
I managed a top 10 at the Tour de France, first Tour de France Femme. I'm pretty excited. Hoping next year to get an even better result, maybe top 5, maybe a podium, but something to look forward to. But yeah, I'd say pretty happy for the first Tour de France Femme and looking forward to the next one.
One of the things that's incredibly exciting to see here are all the little girls that are in the crowds of the spectators. All those little girls are potential future stars of cycling. They can see that these women are excelling. One of our riders has a daughter, and her husband sent us a picture yesterday that showed her daughter pointing at the TV screen. Her mom was in a breakaway for 100 kilometers or more yesterday. That's inspiration to generations of cyclists to come. And this Tour de France is changing the sport. Those little girls could be racers in 10, 15 years. That's exciting.
I'm going home.